Sometimes a nearly 30-year-old car with over 260,000 miles on it needs a little freshening up in the looks department, both interior and exterior. That's what we're doing today on the Tracer. Welcome back to the Auto Obsessive Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of Project Tracer Rounds. And that is our 1994 Mercury Tracer LTS. Alright guys, we've got most of the mechanicals sorted. Time to make it look as good as it runs. And that's actually quite a bit of work, and sometimes it's more than the mechanical work on some of these projects. So we're going to start with the interior. I want to make it a more habitable place, a safer place to sit without, getting any kind of funk on us or any other kind of disease or whatever's lurking inside such an old car, but it's gonna take a lot of work. So we're gonna fully clean the interior, and the exterior leaves a lot to be desired on this particular model. So we're gonna clean up the outside of the car. We gotta paint some trim, we gotta work the wheels over, and we're gonna try to DIY some paint job stuff. So who knows how that turns out? I mean, it can't get any worse, can it? Probably, but whatever. Let's get in there. Let's polish this little thing up. It's Mercury Tracer LTS Beautification Day here in the Auto Obsessive Garage. Let's get in there and get some work done. We are in the inside of the Mercury Tracer LTS, and as you look around this interior, missing the light back here, we've got that one in the mail at least. And the rest of the interior is okay. The seats and everything, the dash isn't cracked. So we're in a good spot overall in this car. But there is a lot of grime. I mean, the carpets are just, yep, you see that. You can see the dash trim is loose up here, and the reason being is because this vent was broken, so I did order that. So I'll be replacing that, and then we'll have at least a full dash. But just in general, just grimy, dirty. The back seats don't fare too much better, just more dirt, kind of gnarly. It's time to deep clean this interior. So I'm gonna get my little steam cleaner out, hit some cleaning agent, hot water on here. I mean, just look at how nasty this surface is. Ugh. So it's gonna take a lot, but we'll do that first. We'll probably do the surfaces, clean them off really well, and then we'll come in here with the steam vac and clean the seats and carpet. So, yep. Lots of fun interior work to do. Just some standard cleaning we gotta do, getting these nooks and crannies, and let's clean this car up a bit. When doing your interior surfaces, even if it is super grimy, it's always best to start off mild, so I'm starting off with something, simple like this Chemical Guys Total Interior Spray. It's very mild, we're not gonna hurt anything. What happens sometimes with these softer vinyls, especially from this period, if you go ahead and launch into that with degreaser, you can actually discolor this stuff, and we are not trying to do that today. So let's go ahead and hit it with the mild stuff. We can step it up if the mild stuff isn't working, but again, you always wanna ease your way in. You don't wanna discolor any of this or permanently ruin it. It's vacuum time. One of my other strategies for cleaning a really dirty car interior is hitting it up with Resolve or some similar cleaner. Just kind of hit it up before you hit it with your steam cleaner. Let it kind of sit up on there for a while to dissolve some of these nastier butt cheek stains, it looks like. But yeah, just let that do some stain lifting before you go ahead and hit it with your spot cleaner, and that's an extra deep clean. Time to break out the big guns. Time for the spot clean. And we are gonna hit this interior hard because, well, it kind of deserves to be hit hard. It is funky. The seats have a lot of interesting stains. The floors are rough. Same with the front. It's got some age in here, and I think we can save it. So this spot clean is a pretty effective tool. Let's go ahead and start hitting these seats and this upholstery. The interior is looking a lot more respectable, guys. So very clean in here, especially just smell alone. It's a vast improvement. So we got a lot of groundwater. The seats themselves, massive improvement. Same with the back. Looking a lot better back here. These seats had some pretty gnarly staining, so looking real good. Time to replace the center vent. Really hard part to source nowadays, so, you know, getting on the eBay, checking around. Got an actual original one with the Ford part bag still intact. So it's kind of cool, a little museum piece here. I don't know how long this was sitting on whoever's shelf, but we're gonna gladly install it in our Tracer LTS. Let's go ahead and do that now. Time to replace that third brake light bulb that was completely burnt out. As you can see here, the old bulb is completely gone. The metal connector inside, the filament is busted and it is burnt out. So we're gonna plug this new guy in and see if that gives us our third brake light back. Through the magic of playing back video, I saw that the third brake light does indeed illuminate now. So let's go ahead and put her all back together. Third brake light. Kind of a bummer on this car is this sweet, sweet light bar that's yellowed over time. Now I don't know if a plastic polish is gonna bring this back to life. Same with these headlights, but let's give it a shot. I'm gonna put on my DA polisher and some Meguiar's plastics, which I've had good luck with in the past. So let's see if we can get this a little more clear, because it's a really bold statement piece of the car and it looks awesome. So let's try to get it a little less yellow. Headlights look a lot better too. Heck yeah, that's a win. Now to address some of these more serious blemishes. As you can see here, the paint is pretty stripped back on this trim. We're gonna need to repaint that. But also you can see some surface rust bubbles here, and this just happens over time. Nothing looks too deep, but we really need to grind all that rust out, because if we just put paint over this, that rust is gonna come right back at us. So we're gonna sand this down really nicely. I don't know if I'm gonna power sand it or maybe just hand sand it, get it nice and smooth. There's a lot of little spots, but we'll get that down really well, make it nice and smooth, and get all this painted, including this roof trim here. Just brings the car back to life when you get this black trim shining again, but we've got to do a lot of prep work first, so let's knock down these little rusty, crusty spots. I've gone ahead and applied some body filler to some of the little pinhole areas. Obviously allow this to dry, sand it down, put on our fresh coat of trim paint. It's gonna look great. So yeah, this is one more step done. I think this is gonna come out pretty nice, guys. And here's our prep work for about to paint the trim. Everything is taped up, lots of baggies, even the roof trim there. But yeah, you can see our Bondo body filler. We had to fill some little pinholes. All feels really smooth. Again, we're not going for showroom here, but this will help clean up the car a little bit. You can see that metal is gonna be a sharp change when it goes to trim black, matte black, so lots of work. Same with the other side of the car. It's a lot to do this trim work, but it's a pretty high payoff in my opinion. I think it adds a lot of value to the car. Let's get after it. It's all been alcohol prepped too, so everything's clean. All right, the trim is all painted up and looking pretty dang good. If you remember, this side was pretty bad too, as well as the passenger side, which was completely worn off, but that black trim paint really brings the car back to life. Let's skip over. Yes, don't worry, those wiper arms are in my near future to paint. But yeah, you can see over here, we are looking pretty awesome. So, time to take off all this masking and tape and all that nasty plastic. But yeah, look at that. We are black again on this side, no longer white. So, came out pretty good. Super happy with this. Again, it takes a bit of time, but it's always worth the effort. You can see the roof rails there. Black again also. Cool. We're getting there.
Much of the paint had been burnt off by the sun. 260,000 miles is quite a long time for original paint, and this paint did not survive that. Trouble areas included the hood and the rear section of the vehicle, including the trunk lid, spoiler, and rear bumper. Unfortunately, the paint was so far gone I was unable to bring it back, so it required a full stripping, primer, fresh paint, and clear coat. The prep work was really intensive. It takes a long time to strip a car down. Of course, you have all the masking, all that other fun stuff. But I just couldn't leave the car, especially being in the mechanical condition it is, with that kind of burnt up paint. The rear section of the car actually came out quite clean, contrasting that burnt off paint that was covering it before. The hood on the Tracer LTS turned out pretty clean as well. Overall, painting greatly improved the look of this Tracer.